76 hostages remain in captivity in Gaza, and it's still not clear how many of them are alive. The hostages include Yair Horn, 46. He was abducted from his home in Kibbutz near Oz on the 7th of October during the Hamas terror rampage. His younger brother, Eitan, now 38, was visiting from his home in Kfar Saba for the weekend. It was, of course, the festival of Simchat Torah, usually a joyous time of celebration. The family had immigrated from Argentina years ago. Now they have been waiting for 493 days for news. And so we welcome Dalia Cusnir, sister-in-law of hostages Eitan and Yair Horn, who were abducted on the 7th of October. Dalia, thank you so much for joining us. Your husband Amos is waiting for word on his brothers Eitan and Yair. We cannot imagine what your entire family is going through, and Yair is on the list of the current hostages deal, while Eitan is not. How are you all doing? What can you tell us?
I think that's a very tough question to start with. We have been fighting and struggling and advocating and doing everything we can for all the hostages. Of course, my two brothers-in-law, Eitan and Yair, and we're doing horrible. We're devastated and we're broken, but we understand that we are able to fight for them and to be their voice. They are being beaten and starved and everything you just mentioned before. We saw the images last Saturday, and I want to say that we knew about that. The Israeli army, the prime minister, the security forces, everyone, they knew about their conditions since a year ago. So it's very hard to be sitting here and to be an Israeli citizen and try to understand how come they're still there.
As you say, that footage on the weekend of Eli Sharabi and Or Levi and Ohad Ben Ami was difficult to look at. They were so emaciated. And now we're hearing more and more about the conditions there, the starvation. Can't imagine what it's like for you to see those images and know that your family is still in captivity. But you're suggesting this isn't as much of a shock as many might think, because you've known about this for a while. Tell us more about what you've been hearing, what you've been learning over recent months.
So I'll start by going back to October 7th. Everyone saw what these terrorists are able to, right? They burned, they slaughtered, they raped, they killed so many people and abducted so many others. So these are the same people, the same terrorists who are holding our loved ones in captivity. So it's very hard for me to understand this current situation where people say, wow, we're surprised. No, you shouldn't. This is what we're trying to say on the streets and on the screens and everywhere we can from day one. Of course, seeing those images made it 10 times worse, because you're sitting here and you cannot reach out to them, you know, and it's your loved ones. And today you just mentioned it's Alon's birthday. So his mom, she just learned all those horrible testimonies and she cannot do anything to save her, and it's her son. So this is why we're trying, you know, to even push further and to ask for the Israeli government to sign the second part of the deal and to finish with this nightmare.
Over and above calls for the second phase of the deal, there are even calls right now, given these images that we're talking about, the footage that we all saw on the weekend, for one full deal that gets everybody home. It doesn't sound realistic given what's been happening up until now, but what is your sense of that for a call right now? Stop with the phases, just get all the hostages back home right now.
I think this is something that should have been done from day one. And it was the Israeli government who asked to do those phases and to do it every Saturday and not everyone together at the same day. But once the Israeli army is almost out of the Gaza Strip, we can do it and we can just liberate send all those terrorists, condemned terrorists with blood on their hands, send them to wherever they're going and get all our loved ones back. Because if we sit here and continue waiting a week and another one and another one. So you can imagine that many people will not survive these horrible conditions. And once again, it's not even one pita a day, it's a quarter of a pita a day, and not even, and water and torture and losing hope. I think it's something that it's very hard to deal with. So the Israeli government should be brave and take this brave decision. We know they can. We know the Israeli security system can deal with whatever the implementations will be, end this war and bring them back. With all the rest, we can deal later.
I don't want to get into the details around Donald Trump's plan, but I would like your take on the impact that is being felt since the US president got involved. We've heard his comments in recent days and even today talking about the fact that he's losing patience with Hamas. Do you feel that this is going to help to get this result, to get all the hostages back home as soon as possible?
I don't know. I want to say that all the hostage families are so thankful for President Trump and for Steve Witkoff for the fact that they started moving this deal, because we've been waiting more than a year since the previous deal. With the last talking about the plans for Gaza, I want to be honest, I don't know. I'm afraid, and I don't think that's something we should be talking about. This is taking our concentration out of the most important issue, which are the hostages. We are Jews. We need to save life. The value of life is sacred. We cannot stand still while our brothers and sisters are being raped and tortured and starved and murdered. And all the plans for Gaza, this is not something that will be solved in one day, nor the Israeli government should not be dealing with that. They have one task: bringing them back as soon as possible, because it might be too late.
Time is certainly of the essence. Dalia Cusnir, sister-in-law of hostages Eitan and Yair Horn. The whole nation is waiting for good news for all the families of all the hostages, and for you, all your families as well, your extended family as well, hoping and waiting for good news. Thank you very much for being with us on I-24 News.
Thank you so much.